All right, America, we got a good one for you right now. An
Yeah.
exclusive, you know what I'm talking about? Brought to you by Put It On Some of IG Entertainment, you understand? And also, before I get into that, though, I got to let y'all know this is sponsored by Statement Tees. That Statement Tees, every t-shirt you wear makes a statement, you understand? Y'all see the statement I'm making right now? You did. If you can't see it, it says, I never lose. I either win or I learn something. You understand? So if you want to make that same statement, go to statementteesllc.com and shop with us. You understand? Or you can go to Facebook, hit us up, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, you know what I'm talking about, and you too can make that statement. But Caesar.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one, man. Yeah.
We got a legend on deck, man.
For sure.
We got a certified OG when it comes to this game, you understand?
Absolutely.
We got a brother, huh?
No, I was just gonna say you really you really can explain this guy in so many different ways to people of Mississippi, especially if you're a fan of Jackson State football.
No doubt about it.
The name says it all, man. You know, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get the intro started.
Look, all he did was go 8-3 in the first year at Jackson State.
Yeah.
Followed that up with 9-2. His name is plastered all over the JSU record book. That's all he did while he was there. Gave Alcorn the blue while he was there. Legendary game against Southern while he was there. Caesar, if they don't know what I'm talking about, what else he been doing?
Man, my guy's been overseas. For all of y'all who think that his career ended at Jackson State, it did not. He went over and played in the German Football League, won MVPs, right? Won championships because, again, the game translates, right? We are talking about none other than the guy, the living JSU legend himself, Mr. Casey Therriault. Man, this is going to be a great one, and I'm really excited about it.
Hey, like you said, this is a legend from Grand Rapids, Michigan, but we ain't talking about Floyd Money Mayweather. We talking about the White Tiger himself.
Yeah.
Casey Therriault, man, what the business
Man, that's
is.
awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, I appreciate you guys for the intro. That was the best intro I've ever had in my life. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that recording for later.
Please do. But we mean it. We mean it, though, man. My brother and I, we were just kind of sitting around, man, thinking about who we could bring on, because it's just one of those things where Jackson State football is in the news cycle everywhere, not just Mississippi, but in the news cycle everywhere, man. And I think it's important for people to understand that it's always been relevant, but even more so now. But there are guys like yourself that laid that groundwork, man. So we're very appreciative for you to take some time out there to join us today, Casey.
Absolutely.
Really
Anytime, for real, anytime.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. But my brother kind of touched on some things you've been doing since you left Jackson State, man. But I know your fans and Jackson State fans in general, HBCU fans in general, would love to know, man, what you've been doing since you played there.
Yeah, so you know, my first year after leaving Jackson State was I went to the CFL, and it was an experience for me. It just wasn't. It's not the same football. So for me to just feel comfortable back playing American football, it was an opportunity that I had to go overseas, and that was something I did. And you know, I kind of took that same mentality that, you know, I was kind of casted aside by the NFL, and I was casted aside by all universities. Jackson State gave me that one and only opportunity, and then this team in Germany gave me that one and only opportunity. So I kind of just took that same mentality there. And I guess it was a little surprising for their football culture, because, you know, I was kind of like take no prisoners when I went there, and that's how I played. And it just became something that I did year after year, and I always wanted to keep, like, you know, continue proving to myself and everybody that you made the right decision in signing me, and I'm going to keep winning championships. I'm going to keep winning MVPs, and I'm going to do it year after year. And yeah, you know, I didn't really find myself settling and like being comfortable and winning and all these things. So that's just something that I was always driven to do, is just always make sure everybody knew I was the best when I stepped on the field. And hopefully I got a chance to prove that at Jackson State as well as when I went to Europe.
I meant to ask you, though, just how it is with Germany over there. I didn't even know Germany really fuck with American football like that.
Yeah, honestly, when I was leaving the CFL, I was like, well, you know, if I don't play in Canada, like, I don't know if I'm playing football, because I had no idea either. And then suddenly, I got a message from a German football player who played in the CFL. So I guess he had seen the news, and he was like, hey, obviously, like, we think highly of you, and I could tap you into like this network of going to like a German team. They're usually a good team. They've had a couple down years. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, but they got football. Like, I play American like football, like Tom Brady, not like soccer. And he was like, no, I know. Like, I was like, all right, yeah, cool. Because I honestly didn't even know either. And then when I went over there, it's basically like, it's like an easier college life without classes, and you get paid to do it. So, it was I guess it was something for me where I was like, I was traveling Europe, going to Amsterdam, going to Italy, and then just playing games on Saturday, practicing every couple of times. So it was one of those moments where again, it was a culture shock to a different degree, but like, it was all through football again. So for me, it was easy and natural because I'm doing all these things through a sport that was my escape from just like the shit in normal life, So like doing it through football just made everything easier.
I want to dive right into your most fondest memories of Jackson State, man. I have the clips. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can go back and look at the clips and think back to that time, man, where you were wreaking havoc on the entire SWAC, man. I don't think people understand the level of destruction that you caused when you showed up, man. Every game, you literally set records almost every game, right? Give us some of your fondest memories, man, of playing in our capital city.
Man, I would probably say the first game against Delta State was kind of like where I wanted to set the tone. But I came out like I never really came out nervous like that for a football game because there was so much for me just that I was dealing with inside that I just felt like I needed to prove. I don't care who we're playing. This has to be, because Jimmy Oliver, Delta State, they beat Jimmy Oliver's team. So in my head, I was thinking, wow, like Delta State must bring some shit if that's the case.
Yeah.
So I went out. I think my first pass went like 6 feet over my receivers. It was like an 8-yard comeback, and I threw a ball like 6 yards over my receiver's head and like to the third row, and I was like, oh shit, like I need to calm down and like get. So that was me kind of getting those first couple throws out and then setting the tone up. Throwing 3-4 touchdowns and just like that was the game where I felt like, okay, I've heard so much about these past legends at JSU, especially these quarterback guys, and I did something they didn't do, which brought me a little bit of just I settled after that moment, and then obviously it was the Tennessee State game. Which we hadn't beat them in 7 years up to that point consecutively. So that was another game where I felt like I threw a game-winning touchdown. We got over the hump, and then it was like, then I was so comfortable just being so much in the belief that no matter what situation we're in, we're going to score a touchdown and we're going to win the game. And that kind of translated to the Southern game. That translated to the end of the season. I think Alcorn, when I broke my collarbone, I came back and kind of got like that standing ovation. Those are all just moments that obviously I'll live with and never forget, but I could never choose one over the other. I know the Southern game was crazy, and it was one of those things. It's like, we had to win this, like we had to win the game 3 times. And at that point though, there's literally no for me, there's no extra pressure when you go out in such an environment. You score a game-winning touchdown, what should have been a game-winning touchdown. Then it's like, nope, wasn't a game. So then you go score another game-winning touchdown, and it's like,
Casey, the crowd was crazy though. The crowd was ridiculous that game, right?
Well, sometimes when you're playing, you don't realize how crazy the crowd is. You don't see people leaving, people giving up hope. You don't see until maybe it's like, yo, is Southern chanting for us to go home in our own stadium? And then, like it clicks late.
It's true.
It clicks a little bit later. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Crazy, man. That's crazy. Now, I want to go back to something my brother was talking about how, Jackson State is getting all this fanfare now, and you're getting a lot of media hoopla going on. But people forget that ESPN was chronicling what you were doing at Jackson State.
That's right.
Like, in prep for this and stuff like this, I was saying they were interviewing Coach Comedy. They did an E60 on you. I even saw that they were about to turn your life into a movie, bro. Like, so
it's real.
Okay, like this is some big stuff. So, bro, like, what you see now with the fanfare and with Coach Prime there, how does that compare to what you were dealing with when you were there? And what do you think about the Coach Prime hire in general?
Yeah. So for like the first question, I think that everything today at Jackson State, and not that I don't hold anything against media relations and PR and marketing while I was at Jackson State. But I think that was a moment for Jackson State to capitalize on, because it takes a lot of things and a lot of narratives that are known to mainstream media, and it flips it on its head. Like everybody has to see movies and read books about, The Blind Side, or it's always the white savior story. It's always some white family doing something great for someone who's not as fortunate. And this was the complete opposite that I felt like I owed my life to, but this was a black savior story. It's like, yo, this community, this city, these fans, this university did something that nobody has ever seen, at least not in America. Nobody's ever seen in film, in book, in movie, and at least it's getting on ESPN. But I don't think it was pushed hard enough. I don't think people really dove into to at least how I felt so appreciative of this moment, because it wasn't spoken about that every single university, predominantly white, turned their back on me and said, "No, this kid's no good for us." But some people that didn't even owe me anything shouldn't even care about what I was going through, what I went through. They were just like, "Look, we have these things in place to protect people that are overcharged, that maybe go to jail when they shouldn't be." So we do our due diligence here at Jackson State. Wow. And we're going to, just call your lawyer. We're going to call the judge. We're going to get the court. So like when all this happened, I just felt like in the media then it was about a player. Now it's more about Coach Prime. So when you have players doing things for the university, I feel like that's more marketable than for other players, that for recruiting, for everything, then it is about a coach. Now, of course, Coach Prime does a great job marketing himself, the school. Yeah. Like, obviously anybody who's been at Jackson State, alumni, played there, wants to go there, they think it's great. I just feel like media, PR, marketing, all that is handled a lot better now than what it was when I was going there. Obviously, I would have loved to be playing in a time with Coach Prime there. I felt like it would have been blown up to the 10th level, 10th degree of anything that was going on. But there's not much going on with like the spotlight of the players. But if there ever was, I'm sure it would be national media like crazy, like Frenzy. Jackson State would be playing them, probably all throughout the university, the campus, probably around the city, the restaurants. And it would just be on that level today, which I don't think it was then, even though I was getting attention because of the story that I had, coupled with Jackson State University signing me to come play football for them.
Yeah. Casey, the thing, man, I always appreciated about you, man, is you never, anytime I interviewed you and anytime that I watched you play, you never made it feel like this was a rental. You know what I mean? You never made it feel like this was a temporary fix. You really ingratiated yourself in the Jackson State University culture, man. Even to this day, if y'all keep up with Casey on social media, he's still about the Jackson State life, I love, right? How tuned in are you with the program now? Like, are you able to kind of communicate with the coaching staff, current players? And if you aren't, is that something that you would like to be able to do? Be connected with that program?
Yeah, I'm really only connected right now because I'm able to watch the games so much easier than what it was, obviously when I was there in the next couple of years to come after. But sure. I haven't spoke with any of the coaches. I would definitely love to be involved with if they need to reach out, to help recruit somebody, to kind of give from my full perspective as like a student athlete to another possible student athlete. If there's anybody, from a different place in this country that maybe has questions regarding to like brutal honesty, those are questions and concerns that when I was being recruited, I didn't even have, like I couldn't ask nobody, and I had no options. So for me, it was like, yo, you know, if you guys are giving me this opportunity, I'm signing the paper right now. I'm there. So like, just to have that advantage, obviously, you know, I would love to be there. They need help, like, you know, with recruiting, with talking to guys. As far as like being a part of the program again, that was something that I considered if the opportunity came. It's just another one of those things where like I'm also in a position in my life where I don't want to commit to that if I still have the itch to go and play football.
That makes sense. No, it makes sense. Absolutely.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Well, kind of on that note, from your experience as a quarterback in the SWAC, as a great quarterback in the SWAC, talking about some of those battles you've been through, talking about how, you might not have really, when you locked in, you can't really pay attention to the crowd, but you knew the lead up to the Southern game. You knew the lead up to the Alcorn game. You know when you're playing Grambling, Tennessee State, like, bro, these are games where the whole area is talking about traveling to come see you guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you were there, they weren't just going to see the band. Like, folks really trying to see the game. You know what I'm saying? So we got Shedeur Sanders now. So what do you think he needs to be prepared for getting ready to go through those SWAC battles and these heated rivalry games?
Yeah, I just think he needs to prepare for literally the craziest of moments that you should ever expect in a football game, because to be honest, playing in these games, like even when I look back, it's like that type of shit doesn't happen in football games this often. Like this is like, these are moments where the other team really hates the other team. And my first year going into it, for some reason, I just, you know, like I came from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I didn't know much about HBCU football, HBCU life, bands, names of the bands, you know, names of the dancers, you know, the magnitude of the games, until you're leading up to that week and everyone is making you feel like you should hate them when I didn't even have a reason to hate them yet. But before I get to the game, I already hate them. And I'm like, you know what?
That's right.
I can't stand Southern, and I don't know why I can't stand them yet. I just can't stand them.
No doubt, man.
And you really got to feel that. And it, you know, there's nothing about, oh, you need to prepare on how to play the game of football. You've been doing that your whole life. You need to prepare for the moment, and you need to be prepared to hate that game and hate that team, because that's going to fuel you and drive you to do things that you've never done as a football player before.
That's crazy, man. That's excellent perspective. You kind of hit on this a little bit, Casey. From a marketing standpoint, we have this ability now for players, for collegiate players, to make money off of themselves, man. And I think everybody on this panel is probably going to agree that should have been happening a long time ago, but better late than never in this case. Give us your thoughts, man, on the ability for players to be able to get paid. And just from a personal standpoint, we want to know, how much do you think you would have been worth in that moment, man?
Stupid.
We both think it's ridiculous, man. Your story, like you just said, is a money maker. Good, bad, and different, however anybody looks at it, your story is a money maker. So just talk us through that process of what you think that looks like for the college athlete moving forward. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's amazing. And I also like the idea of it happening now, because I think a lot of professional athletes who are big superstars now who didn't go to HBCUs, or maybe have never really taken part of being so much involved as they are now. And a lot of them have foundations, and a lot of them have, these outlets and these outreaches that it's like, we want to be more involved with the HBCU communities. And now I think obviously Coach Prime has kind of set that idea ablaze with him coming and bringing all these notable figures around. So I think that is great. And I think that's going to really allow players in the HBCU world, you know, not just football, but all athletes across the board, more exposure and opportunity. And it's not just going to be, you know, the Big Tens and the SECs and, you know, these kids. But I'm not going to lie, I would have loved for that to be there when I was at Jackson State. But, you know, like you said, better late than never. And probably, you know, you never know how it would have went. Maybe it would have got you in some more trouble having that, having a lot more money coming in your way. But
oh no, man, I can see a whole lot of White Tiger merch, bro.
Come on, man. Come
that
on,
man.
man.
Hey, you might can pop that off right now.
I was just about to say you
Maybe.
could come back to Mississippi during the season.
Yeah,
and who knows, man? Let's see what happens.
Knows, you know what I'm saying? You can always partner with Statement T. You know what I'm saying? We'll make that thing happen for you. But
I like it, man.
I like the idea.
No doubt about it. But man, we appreciate you coming on, dog.
Yeah, man. Seriously.
I know our viewers are gonna be absolutely ecstatic when they see this one, man. Like I said, and I can't understate this. I wish you could be a fly on the wall and just hear it in the barbershops, man.
Yeah.
How the people love you, bro, and embrace you in the culture. And I want to salute you for being a real one, because that was a hell of a point you made, bro, about how these movies try to do the white savior story versus that. Because I was thinking about that. I watched a show with my mom, Grey's Anatomy, and they got these two doctors that adopted this black baby. Yeah. And I was like, I've never seen a scenario where it's the other way around.
Never.
So that's crazy, bro. That
especially not a true story.
True story. Now, I've never seen that in film. Maybe it's out there, but I've never seen it. So I hope they jump back. Have they dropped the talks about your movie, or what's up with that?
No, so there was original producing group that I was working with, and that's when that was when the first news came out, and that was in partnership with Devon Franklin when he was over at Sony. So that basically that ended, and I started working under contract to basically produce another movie with a guy named Bobby Smith Jr. So that's going, it's going well. I think it's such a long process, and with COVID and stuff, I think Hollywood and everybody's been shut down for a long time. So yeah, that's what it is. But in the meantime, I had basically partnered up with a published author, like a sports author. He was a beat writer for football as well. So I've actually written a book, and I'm actually
nice.
So I'm definitely excited to just tell the story that I think everybody needs to hear from my direct perspective, from childhood to basically being and experiencing everything leading up to the timing that I had to basically my climax at Jackson State. And then, so, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but I am excited about basically producing and announcing that specifically, to Jackson, Mississippi, but, to anybody and everybody who's interested in hearing my story. So the book should at least it's pretty much finished, but it should be getting some more attention, hopefully in the next year or so.
Well, brother, when it's done, we'll be here to help spread the word, man. You can count on that, Casey. You can count on that, man.
No doubt.
Look, before we let you get out of here, man, we want to give you an opportunity just to let folks know anything else you got going on, how they can connect with you on social media. Just let the people know what you got going on, man. Besides the book, that's really the venture that I'm most excited about, just because I think it's time, and I think the state of our country, community, society, I think it's something that at least sports enthusiasts will be interested in. If not, then it is also a humanitarian story, and it's also my personal story. So, it's something that I think if you're a young kid and you've been through some troubling situations, I think if you've been confused on mainstream marketing and how it can affect you when you jump in between different cultures within the United States, I think it's interesting for people who have handicapped kids or siblings. It's just my story, and I've laid it out there. If you've been in love, if you've done something that made you uncomfortable, if you've been put in an uncomfortable situation, and I think most important of all, showing that culture in America is not a one-way street. That I've had my life saved by a culture that owed me nothing, by people that owed me nothing from a different part of the United States. That I was just a kid from Michigan that was given an opportunity that no one else would give me, to a place that I didn't even know existed. So I think that's most important when it comes to telling my story, because that also gave me opportunities that otherwise I would have gotten a job after JUCO, and I never would have went to Europe. I never would have met
some of my best friends I'm still best friends with today from Jackson State. So that's a story that I'm most excited about, and just getting it out there my way, not how the media portrayed it, but my way. So besides that, yeah, I mean, everybody can find me on my Facebook page. I think it's Casey Therriault, number 11. I actually don't even know the name of it. So, or Therriault.
Hey, that's what it is. I checked it out in my.
Yeah, we
in my
already checked it. It is Casey Therriault 11.
Hey,
Don't worry about it.
He's right. That is.
He's right, America. He got
it. Or you could. I think my Twitter name is Therriault Casey. I think it's the other way on Twitter. So you can find me on Twitter too, and I'm usually checking them or seeing them, and just drop me a line, send me a message. I've gotten hurtful comments, I've gotten happy comments, I've gotten fan comments. So, I've kind of seen it all. So if you got something to say, go ahead and say it to me, and I'm sure I'll respond one way or another.
Come on, man.
Hey, that's the best way to put it, because when I get them bad comments, I cuss them out and block them. Hey, I'm gonna start saying I'm gonna respond one way or another.
I like that.
Hey, on, man. So we appreciate you again, brother.
Absolutely.
Tonight we wish you good luck with everything. I'm definitely gonna be copying that book. I'm sure my brother is as well.
You know that.
Both of us are readers. You know what I'm talking about? We would love to read that story. And we want to see it on that big screen. So all y'all viewers out there, when y'all see this, y'all make sure y'all comment and show Hollywood there's a gate for this picture.
That's right.
We want to see this picture. You understand? So make sure y'all show them that they can make.
We're doing the first interview here after the movie hits the theaters.
Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. You heard it, man.
Y'all heard it. You know what I'm saying? But we invite you back as well, man. Throughout the season, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because you know better than us. Now we watch the games and we talk about what happened after the game.
You've been there.
But you know what it takes to hit that third Nate. You know what I'm saying? But we don't. So you know what I'm saying? Again, we appreciate you for coming on, man. Salute.
Bless you, Casey.
Thank you, guys. All right, thank you.
Yeah, man.
My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit StatementTeesLLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.